Welcome and congratulations on your new Timney trigger. My name is Alex. I'm here to help guide you through the installation process of the 870 Trigger Fix Kit, as well as give a few tech tips where needed to make the installation process seamless. Without further ado, let's get into it. To get started, we're going to make sure there is no ammunition in the magazine tube. Make sure it is completely clear and free, and we can get started removing these two pins holding the trigger housing in place to get the fire control group out. With the two mounting pins removed, the fire control group can then be slid out from the bottom. Now we can make sure this is in a fire position for the safety. Cover the hammer and pull the trigger, allowing that to come forward. Now what we want to do is remove the trigger plate bushing on the back here. That holds the trigger forward just slightly. So what we'll do is get a little bit of tension off that, and this pin will slide right out, relieving all the tension from your sear spring that can also be removed. With pressure on the carrier dog, push the carrier pivot tube free and then remove the carrier assembly, removing the carrier dog follower spring and plunger. Same thing on this bushing here. We will have a keeper on one side, not on the other. A little bit of pressure on there to slide this one out. Taking a small punch, we can push that out the rest of the way. And this should come free. Now we can take that plunger and spring out as well. Set those aside. The plunger for the carrier dog will also hide this little pin. That pin secures the sear in place. On this side of the trigger housing, you will need to move this out of the way to gain access. You can push the trigger shoe forward. Having this all the way forward should be able to just kind of push down on it and away. This gives you the clearance to this hole. The hole for the sear will be staked, and you'll need to use a small punch to drive the pin from the left side out to the right. Pushing it past that little stake portion, this will just come out and the sear is free. Now with the factory sear removed, we can add the 870 Fix Kit, orientating the step bushing toward the back. We'll slide right in here, and if you can see visually from the right side, having a little bit of tension on that pin, you should align that pretty evenly until it starts rotating without slipping out. The pin can then be pressed all the way back in. With the sear installed with the sear pin, we can now insert or pull weight spring on the step bushing, which is on the back portion of this sear. What we'll choose is going to be the white one. This is a medium pull weight. So we have a blue that is the lightest, white that's medium, red that is heavier. They can all be fine-tuned and adjusted with this step bushing after installed. We'll take our white spring and push this down around that step bushing. Now we want to make sure that our connector piece is back aligned on top. If needed, a small flathead screwdriver can be used to pry this around it. To reinstall the carrier dog assembly, we will want to start with the spring and plunger back into the hole in the back here. Now with the hammer slightly propped up, we can slide the carrier around it, making sure that the hammer is above the carrier and not underneath it. Once this is aligned, we can kind of push this down. Try to get it aligned as much as possible before reinserting the small bushing. Should slide right through. Now, With the trigger, we want to pull that forward, hammer still forward, and we can insert the larger rear plate bushing. Cock the hammer and do a quick function check, make sure that it catches, and when you pull the trigger, it's releasing it. Now with the fire control group all put together, we can reinsert it into the receiver. Once those are aligned, we can drop our pins in place, give them a light tap, and we can function check. Having the fire control group completely reinstalled into the receiver, we can make sure hammer is back in a cocked position, safety is on, and there is no movement in the trigger shoe. Once we push the safety to the fire position, go ahead and pull the trigger. Nice, clean, smooth, crisp break. And that's it. We hope this helped you with the installation process of the 870 Trigger Fix Kit. If you have any remaining questions, our world-class customer service agents are more than happy to help. Just give us a call, 623-223-1111, or head over to our website. Click the yellow Contact Us button on the right-hand side. If not, congratulations on installing your Timney trigger. You can now go shoot with ease, knowing you've got the world's finest trigger in your hands.